Alright guys, we're back for another Dokkan battle video, and I'm going to get back to tackling these Extreme Z Awakenings, seeing how far I can possibly get. I'm definitely probably not in need of Zeni pretty much ever again, I'm sure, just as long as I keep up the Extreme Z Awakening stuff, because, I mean, as you guys can see, the amount of Zeni that you acquire from doing these stages, like, it's astronomical. Like, I'm up over 1 billion Zeni now. You know, keep continuing to do these stages, you get, what, 1.5 million Zeni per run? It's just so damn lucrative. So, I'm definitely going to go ahead and keep this up as long as I can. Now, all of the EZAs, I did make a separate video. Really, the intention of that was just to let you guys know, like, it'll be very easy to earn a lot of Zeni during the 4-year anniversary, specifically for JP, and Global will definitely have it as well, where all the EZAs will be up during the entirety of the 4th year anniversary. It's just, of course, for Global, that's not going to happen until July, right? But it's going to be very, very, how do I say, interesting to see, I guess. Like, I think most players probably can get further in some of these EZAs than they realize, too, which is another reason why I made that video, because, you know, something like the Super Saiyan 3 Goku EZA, you know, a while back, was very, very difficult at the time, but now, like, you know, there's just a lot more units who are capable of, like, really, you know, performing well in these events. Like, all of these EZAs are like that. The Ultimate Gohan EZA, the Beerus EZA, you know, the Kid Buu EZA, all have, like, new powerful units being added to whatever categories these and, you know, bosses are weak to, which just makes the events even easier. You know, a lot of these EZA characters as well, like, you know, for the Broly EZA, you know, the Coat EZA Vegeta is incredible there. Like, here in the Gogeta EZA, we're using the fully EZA'd AGL Broly. Like, those types of units just make it to where it's very, very easy to sort of, you know, like, smoothly go through a lot of these events. So, you know, throughout the 4-year anniversary, I'm probably going to be updating a lot of the, you know, like, videos for the furthest I've made it into a certain EZA, right? The Super Saiyan 3 Goku EZA, I'm pretty sure I've hit a wall there at stage 142 or whatever, because of the fact that the leader of the team is Int. There's just no getting around the ridiculous damage that Goku will deal. Some EZAs, like this Gogeta one, who knows how far I could get, but with, you know, like Great Ape Turles' transformation, Tapion's transformation, you know, things like that, there's a chance maybe I could approach stage 200 for Gogeta's EZA here, so I, you know, may look into getting that done. You know, different EZAs like Beerus, I definitely could probably get, like, you know, 50 or 60 stages higher on Beerus. So for the rest of the 4-year anniversary, you know, in between, you know, whatever new stuff is popping out, I'm going to try and, you know, get some of these, like, you know, my highest records in a lot of these EZAs taken care of. And I'm definitely not going to be doing, like, I'm only doing stage 50 for this video, but that's really just to kind of, like, let you guys know, like, yeah, during the course of the anniversary, I'm going to try and get to, like, you know, 150 plus on all of the different EZA events. So, like, the next video I do, like, you know, for example, I never did a video on the AGL Broly EZA past, you know, stage 30. So the first video I do for that one might be, like, stage 125 or something like that, right? Like, I'm not going to do, like, all right, here we are on stage 40, and then it's just, like, a slaughter of Broly, right? Like, I'm going to try and make sure it gets to where it's quite difficult for a lot of these. Now, the ones that I found just absolutely the most annoying by far is the Full Power Frieza and then the EZA Kid Gohan events. The reason those ones are so annoying is because of the fact that you just don't really have a good leader, right? Like, the Planet Namek category is what's really effective in those events, and then, you know, Super STR is also very effective in those events. And it just leads to a situation where you don't have a really good leader for those teams, because, you know, someone might say, oh, you got STR Super Saiyan 4 Goku. Yeah, but he gets absolutely bodied in those events. He's terrible for them. And then it's like LR Broly, same thing. He's awful. He gets destroyed. Now, 1000 Day Goku, I actually think is actually quite a good option for those two. But of course, that's the one unit that it will remain out of my grasp for a very long time. You know, I'm only just about to hit day 600, I believe, on my account. So your boy has still got quite a quite a journey left until I get that 1,000-day Goku. So I'm sure by the time that happens, there may be a better like Super STR leader or something like that. And the other thing too is like even a unit like LR Trunks and Mai doesn't really work as a good leader for those events because LR Trunks and Mai only give the buff to Super STR types. Whereas, you know, Extreme STR is very, very important. You know, the STR Final Form Frieza is probably like the hardest hitting Namekian category units, or Namek Saga category units. Then, of course, you have, you know, things like the STR Jace, as well as the LR First Form Frieza, who are also quite formidable for those events. And you are going to want to, you know, kind of, you know, tag them along. So, I'll try and knock out some of those. There's the Ultimate Gohan EZA. I definitely could guess further on that one, because I do have my Int Mr. Satan rainbowed now. So he is just an absolutely incredible defensive unit. Very good for that event. That event, the only thing about the Ultimate Gohan EZA is it's very reliant on the physical Super Vegito cards. And so, like, those stages take a long-ass time to do because you're whittling him, the Ultimate Gohan boss down with counterattacks rather than, you know, like, gigantic damaging blows. So that's the other thing, too, is RNG is very annoying in that Ultimate Gohan one as well because, like, you really would want something, well, kind of like this, I guess, but you just want the enemy like to pile up all their attacks in one slot so that physical Super Vegito can just get to work, right? Counter, 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 counter. And sometimes it's not really as simple as that. Yeah, we'll just go with this right here. But now what's interesting about this squad that I'm bringing here, this sort of AGL movie boss team, so many of them, Janemba, AGL Metal Cooler, as well as the ECA Broly, like they all rely on getting hit before they can start dealing really high amounts of damage, right? So like Janemba, he just needs to get hit the one time, and then of course that activates a nice little attack buff he'll have for a couple turns. Well, I was about to say like so, but he dodges, so not like so. AGL Metal Cooler, of course, he has to get hit a couple of times, and he slowly builds up his attack power. And then Broly does the exact same thing as well. Like, you know, you kind of just have to sort of take your time a little bit. That AGL Metal Cooler, there it is. You know, his healing just went into effect. That's one of the best things about that card, by the way. You know, if he gets hit in a turn, he'll heal 7% HP at the end of the turn. I've talked about it many times. Healing units are my favorite. They are just so useful in this day and age. Especially like with this AGL Golden Frieza right here. Keeping him above 50% HP. Now that AGL Golden Frieza, I did rainbow him quite a while ago. He really has performed well in several of these EZA events. The other thing, too, I've done with him is he actually loses his defensive ability once he falls below 50% HP. So that's why I sort of kind of preemptively prepared for that, and I gave him 20, or no, not 20 dodge, 15 dodge. 15 dodge is as high as he can go. But that is very, very helpful because oftentimes he will get those dodges to occur. And the other thing, too, with him is if, like, you know, if he falls below 50% HP and that damage reduction is completely gone, those dodges keep him from being completely worthless. Like, that's one thing about, you know, the AGL and Tech Golden Friezas is how, you know, you fall below 50% HP and they basically have no passive, which hurts. Like, I still think the Tech Golden Frieza was designed poorly, in my opinion. I do think they should have given him the ability to maintain. If I do this, will I get? Yeah, okay. They should have given him the ability to maintain his attack buff at least. Like, I understand, you know, he's below 50% HP. He loses his defensive abilities, but he still should have had some attack buff, I think, when below 50% HP. Like, I get it. They did that to sort of model him after, you know, how Golden Frieza was beaten in the film. But still, like, you know, just for him to be worthless, you know, under 50% HP is not great. So, Janemba he's so good, man. You gotta love how in Janemba, he just absolutely just dominates in these EZAs as well, even though he's not an EGL typing, and he just performs just as well as ever, doing tremendous amounts of damage. EGL Tapion, another one of these units, you know, in a normal Dokkan event, EGL Tapion doesn't really get a lot of damage done, doesn't really get the job done too well. But, you know, anytime it's like one of these difficult type events, or an event where you can't use items or something like that, EGL Tapion really can show his worth. Like, look at this. He's just completely dominating, you know, taking all of this damage. Then, of course, if you do fall below 50% HP, Hirudegarn starts coming out, and Hirudegarn, you know, basically in these EZA events, if Hirudegarn comes out, like, that's a win. Like, you won. So, it is cool to see our boy Tapion actually be able to put in some work. That's another reason I do sort of like trying to get as far as I can in a lot of these events, is because we do get to see some units that maybe I don't end up using quite as often. You know, they actually get a little bit of screen time here. Although, I mean, I guess, you know, it's just for this team, like the AGL Metal Cooler, the Broly, like I use the shit out of them, but they're, you know, they're essentially brand new units. You know, Broly's a month old, and Metal Cooler is what, like 3 months old, 2.5 months old. So these are relatively fresh units. That AGL Metal Cooler, by the way, still has one of the nicest looking super attacks. So I will come back with another video for the Gogeta EZA specifically, but it'll probably be like, you know, 175 maybe, somewhere around there. You know, we'll come back with a video on the Broly stage. We'll definitely do one on the Beerus. I'm going to try and do one on as many different EZA events as I can during the course of the 4th anniversary, but just, you know, very, very, very far in. And I guess just continuing to accumulate Zeni. So, thanks guys for watching, and I will catch y'all for the upcoming run of EZAs during the 4-year anniversary. So, later.